when they come back home, your home environment, does it have those qualities that you want? So again, this is the attitude of parents, right? You outsource everything to the school and expect them to build your child from A to Z. But when they come home, that 30% of time they're at home or that weekend, you can create the environment that you want.
I'm Parksen, a father and grandfather, a relationship coach, and author of The Modern Day Dad.
And I'm Hafiz, a father of 4, a transformational coach, and a dad in progress.
We Are Dads Too is a podcast for fathers by fathers. Each week we have conversations about different aspects of fathering.
Hello everyone, I'm Hafiz.
And I'm Parcsen.
We are the fathers behind the podcast We Are Dads Too. We discuss everything from being an effective father to a good co-parent to our spouse.
We also have guests and experts on our show to talk about the different aspects of fatherhood. Come and join us to discover more about our experiences as fathers, because
we are dads too. Click on the link below to follow us on Spotify. Parksen, there's a question from our audience. How do you recover from a case of extramarital affair and then having admitted it and now wanting to repair or build trust on the relationship?
Wow. Well, I want to first of all thank that person for asking this question. It really takes a lot of courage and boldness, and I would even say a great desire to want to make your marriage work. So thank you for this, and I hope my answer will really help you. Let me first say that an extramarital affair is basically a sign, not that your marriage is bad, but your marriage is lacking certain things, and mainly intimacy. There's probably a lack of connection that you and your spouse feel, or your spouse feels, and therefore they are easily drawn away or even be looking for other people to connect with. So, to build trust after, the extramarital affairs is firstly accountability. I think both of you, especially the one who committed the affair, needs to be willing to be held accountable. Accountable meaning, number one, you have to answer probably all the questions. For example, if the husband is the one who has committed the affair, the wife will have a lot of questions. It's very understandable, it's very natural. And sometimes the husbands are not, very forthcoming in answering those questions. Now, the more you do not answer the questions, the more you try to dodge the questions, then the more suspicion and frustration the wife would have. So I would advise husbands to answer the questions. Answer and answer until your wife is satisfied. Now, it may take, how long will it take? I'm not sure. But keep doing that. That's a very important step in building trust. And be accountable. Be accountable about who you're meeting, who you're talking to, who you're texting, who you're calling, who's calling you, and all that kind of thing. Now, that might feel, you might feel that your life is being restricted, you're being under surveillance and all that. Well, yes, for a time, this is very necessary because trust takes time to build, and it's not something that happens overnight. So if you really want to build trust, if you want to gain the trust of your spouse, then you need to be prepared to subject yourself to these kinds of scrutiny, willingly, and try not to wait till you're asked, So who do you meet? Well, don't wait till your spouse asks you those questions. Be the first to volunteer the information, and that shows that you're totally open and transparent and you have nothing to hide. At the same time, you need to do something about, this is about repairing so far. Now, rebuilding your marriage. Because as I said earlier, the reason why the extramarital affair happened is because something was lacking in your marriage. So now besides, at the same time that you're repairing it, you need to also rebuild it. Rebuild it by learning the skills necessary to strengthen your marriage. learn how to communicate, learn how to connect, learn about intimacy and understanding each other, and all the things that are necessary for a strong marriage. And there are many ways you can do that. You can read books on marriage, you can attend workshops on marriage, you can seek a marriage counselor or a marriage coach who can guide you in all these things. So do two things at the same time. One is to repair and the other is to rebuild.
Well, that's a very good tip. And not only that, I think it's from your experience, right? And
not personal experience.
Wait, let me finish that.
I'm not committed. Experience in helping other couples who have gone through this themselves.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
We have another question from a member of our, Facebook and Instagram followers, and this one came from a Malay Muslim parent, and he or she was asking about how can I make sure that my child receives a balanced education between religious and secular. Hafiz, how would you answer this question?
Okay, this is based on my own personal experience. I have 3 kids going to the normal mainstream school and 1 kid in the madrasa. All right, and how I decided who goes to which school is based on certain principles. Of course, I want the best for the child. All right, in both when they graduate from their education system, they have a good future, good job, good career, and they do have a good character, all right, built along the years. And only that, the social aspect of it, they make friends, they're open to the society and the communities, and they become a useful citizen, a useful person. So having that in mind, would a mainstream school, or particularly for the Muslims, right, a madrasa school, be a good preferred choice? I can say that there's no one right answer. Okay, and due to the fact that there are limited spaces in the madrasa, not all our children can go there. Although some parents really want their children to go to the religious school mainly because of the character building. Because I think they believe that having the spiritual education as well as a good environment will build a good character and therefore create some kind of a future that the child will be a good person. All right. But at the same time, the opportunities lost is in terms of what the mainstream schools are giving. Right, the opportunities of a good quality education. I'm not saying the madrasa are not good, but they have limited resources compared to the mainstream school, and that, as well as the social aspect, you're able to mix with not only people of your race or your religion, but others, and that will widen your scope and your perspective in life. And I think that's important. Living in Singapore, we are a multiracial, multireligious country, society, and Malays, Muslims being only about 15%. The rest are non-Malays, non-Muslims, and we need to get used to that. And that years of 10, 15 years of education, of school life, builds not only your mindset, your mentality, but your social capital. So due to that, I am very open. That's why I send my children to both. And I realized that at the end of the day, is what you do with them at home. When they come back home, your home environment, does it have those qualities that you want? So again, this is the attitude of parents, right? You outsource everything to the school and expect them to build your child from A to Z. But when they come home, know that 30% of time they're at home or the weekend, you can create the environment that you want and build your own so-called curriculum, although not very structured, but a curriculum at home, some culture, some traditions, some habits that you think are aligned to your religious or cultural values. And I believe that when you're able to balance both, and to me that's how you balance and have the outcome of a child being what you want, and you have a say, you have a part to play in molding that child's future.
Wow, thank you, Hafiz. I think personally I found that answer to be very reasonable, balanced, sensible. As parents, if you do it yourself, you have total control of what you impart and teach your children, especially character, values, and culture. Thank you for that, Hafiz.
Okay, good. I hope that helps. And if you have further questions and you think that you need more answer to the same question, do let us know. and we will share some of the from our own experience and some of the things that we think works to overcome those problems. Thank you, Parksen.
Welcome.
This podcast is brought to you by Iman Catalyst Community, which is missioned to elevate hope by transforming lives through social education initiatives as well as personal development programs. We are the medium that come in between NGOs and their beneficiaries to enhance their sustainability and impact. If you'd like to know more, connect, and collaborate with us, you can reach us at Facebook and Instagram at Iman Catalyst. That's spelled EMAAN, and we would like to work and partner with you.
Thank you so much for tuning to this week's conversation. We hope that this episode helped you in your transformational journey as dads. If you like this podcast, make sure you review, follow, and share it with your friends. For more episodes and resources on fathering, check us out at We Are Dads Too on Facebook and Instagram.
We would also like to hear your comments and questions, so please feel free to share them on our FB and IG pages and also our Twitter, and be connected to other dads too. Until next time, let's take the next step to be the special dad we are meant to be. Take care and stay safe.